I'm going to be talking about 5 acres in Homer, Alaska. This is a really cool neighborhood just north of Homer area in like Fritz Creek. If you're familiar with it, great. If not, I'm going to pull this property up on a map. I'm going to show you where we're located. I'm going to answer a lot of common questions in this video, show you guys what satellite imagery looks like, what the topography maps look like. And at the end of the video, I'll also go through Zillow, showing you some comparable sales, showing you where we're offering a lot of value in our asking price. So just kicking this video off, my name is Miles McLaughlin here at Wilco Land. What I specialize in is selling raw vacant land. This is my specialty. This is my niche. And the property I'm rolling out with you today, we've got some good photos of it. I'll walk through it, show you guys the boundaries, talk about utilities, and again, answer a lot of those common questions and teach you how you can go view this property on your own. There's so much you can learn about a land investment from the comfort of your computer. I'll try to teach you everything I know through my own due diligence and my experience in the industry. So just kicking this off with a quick disclaimer, this isn't legal or real estate advice. Like I said earlier, I'm only sharing what I know through my own due diligence and through my 10 plus years of experience in the industry. So starting this property off, I want to pause on a few photos. You can see the property really well from right here. This is actually on the property. This is a driveway on the property. This is an old camper the previous owner had there. There is power right here you can plug into. So if you're just looking for, there is power on site ready to be hooked up to, okay? So that's a huge added value. This is ready for a tiny home, a camper, something of that nature. You can hook into power right now. Conversely, if you're looking to build a sweet house, you can build up here too. And I'll show you some comparable sales with what other people are doing. There's like a, kind of like a tower out here and stuff like that. So when we're talking Alaska, we're not going to see a lot of restrictions in what you can and cannot do with your property. That's kind of why people are moving to Alaska or why people want to be there, right? This is a good photo showing the property outlined here. Here's your driveway. Here's your camper site, whatever you want to use it. I mean, there's a lot of buildable space in this 5 acre, and I think it's going to offer some pretty cool views looking out at Denali National Park here. So if you're unfamiliar with Homer, I want to show you what it looks like on a map here. Let's zoom out a little bit. This is Homer, Alaska, Anchor Point. You've got Fritz Creek down here. So like I said, this is going to have some cool properties facing south. So really a nice location. It's got easy road access on this road right here on Barn Road. I'll pull it up on satellite imagery too to give you guys a look, but really a nice property location. So the next thing I want to walk through is, you can see, again, a lot of the photos we have do a really good job of depicting what this property is. Like I said, target audience, a camper, tiny home, some sort of yurt, some sort of unique structure like that, or maybe $1 million cabin. I think the world is kind of at a lot of possibilities right at your fingertips on this property, especially just having tangible, ready to use lands right now. And I think the biggest selling point is going to be the location of this property. This is a beautiful part of the country. Give Homer a Google. Why is Homer, AK popular? Read a little bit more about it. Super popular spot for tourism, fishing, hunting, things like that. So it's held a capital of the world, right? Do a little bit of research on it if you're interested in that. There's a lot of value in this land investment at the asking price that we're at. So let's talk a little bit more about it. You've got rural unrestricted land for the zone, and if you want to read more about what that means, hop on the Kenai Peninsula Borough's website, Rural Residential District. You can read more about what's allowed there. If you have specific questions, just reach out to them. The easy access right off Barn Road, we talked about that in the photos. You can see there's a driveway going to the property as well. Access is no issue here. It should be an easy property to find. If you want to go view the property, my favorite app is going to be using Onyx Maps. I've got the property pulled up here. All I'm doing is plugging the GPS coordinates in, and you can see the property right here. Really easy to identify. I have a private land ownership layer on. I have the elite version of Onyx Maps. If you are in the market for land, this is a really helpful app. You can drive up to the property, the little dot on your phone. You can walk around the property, kind of following these property lines. It does a really good job of showing you where your property's at. So again, clicking the property here, we can see it, clear as day, 4.8 acres right there. Somebody's developed over here, kind of has a camper spot. There's some homes in the neighborhood too. You can see all these homes. You could see that in the satellite imagery. So, right, when we talk about target audience, it's like, this is a cool structure that they have going there. There's going to be a lot of different reasons why people use these properties and different things that people use. Like that's kind of a yurt. And we'll get on Zillow and look at some of the ideas that people have on land deals out here. What's really nice about this property is it backs up to a bunch of open space, essentially. You're not going to have any neighbors behind you. There's a lot of public land nearby too. So again, you've got a landing strip down here in Homer, pretty popular spot down here on the coast. Let's talk about the property on satellite imagery is the last thing we can do here. Just wanted to show you guys, like I said, it's got pretty good topography here. You're gonna have a gentle slope. We kind of talked about some of those views looking this way. So the elevation in the bottom right of my screen, the elevation down here at the road is gonna be roughly 1,200 feet. You can look at the bottom right of my screen down here. The elevation up at the top of the property gains about 10 feet, so you have about a 10-foot gain in terms of elevation there. So here we go. This is better. So see where my cursor is. It's 816 feet down there. As we go up, it's 830 feet roughly. Up in here, you see that. So the property does sit up over here on this section of the property. I'll kind of outline it for you. This section of the property is going to gain elevation. This would be where you probably want to build, in this pocket somewhere in that neck of the woods. And then we can look at, if I can find it here, where that went, but I can look at the details for that. See if I can get back to that. Well, Google Earth is acting up, and I'm not going to keep you guys in this video. See if I can figure this out. It's fine. We can draw it on Onyx. I want to show it to you quick because I do think, it's a good amount of acreage. So if I kind of check this, you can see this has higher elevation over here. We talked about that on satellite imagery. Like I said, there's some slope down here on the west side of the property. So let's say your building pocket is somewhere in here. You're working with 2 3/4 of an acre right here. So like I said, you're going to have some nice elevated views from the back of the property. That's why they put that camper right there. So just something to keep in mind. Wanted to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of the topography of the property. You can see it's some pretty cool long range views out there. If you get up there, think about your second story, it'll be nice. There's not a whole lot else to share. I want to pull up some comps out there to show you guys the value and show you guys what other people are doing out here. It does help. So I've got our listing saved here. We've got a listed with a realtor out of Homer here. You can work directly with the realtor. You can work directly with me, the owner. Working with our company, we own all of our properties. You can see just looking around this area, this is one of the properties out here in this little subdivision. I think we saw it on a map from satellite imagery. I mean, these are just ideas. Like you pick up a piece of property from us for, 130 grand, you put 100 into it, even 75, like you've got a pretty cool spread out there. And it doesn't have to be anything too fancy, right? We have power. This is something pretty off grid. This is cool. I mean, you don't have to put a lot of money into a property in Alaska to really make it useful and something pretty special. Let's see what else is out here. There's a property, home for almost $1 million, so I'll remove the boundary and see what else we're working with out here, reset some of my filters, see what else is on the market. But I mean, look at the prices. I'll just go land only too, kind of see what the prices are. So here's one down the road. I mean, this is $200,000 for basically an identical property. And that's something I want to point out. We are in the business of moving land fast. This is a 1.29 acres for 190, 0.7 acres for 185. Like just pointed out, like we're in the business of moving land fast. I'd love to hold these properties. I'd love to sit on them, all throughout the good and the bad markets. But, the name of the game is to find a deal that works for both sides. We've got to move through these properties to keep buying. I'm actively buying at the same time. So satisfying those cash demands and, people get good deals from Wilco, and that's a real thing. So if it's something you're interested in, just get with us. We do offer some seller financing opportunities that can vary property to property based on the down payment. We also will work with you on a cash deal too. Looking at sold properties, I wanted to kind of back up some of those comps. There are properties transacting in that range of the comps are selling for. So 234.9 back in 2024, just down the road, 4.9 acre. I think this was one of the cheaper sales out there just in June of 25. This one was listed at 185. We don't know the final sale price, but hard to believe they took a $50,000 haircut. They're 4.6 acre, very similar to ours. This one was listed for 200 and sold this year for, we don't know that number. So again, I think this one, offers a lot of value in it. I mean, what's pretty cool, it has a camper and the electricity on it too. So that's something to keep in mind as well. That's about all I've got to share in this property. I have a lot of other listings in Alaska. If you're looking for something more affordable, take a peek at our homepage, whether you're looking in Alaska, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, places like that. You can see all over the map we're at. My Alaska listings, I've got something in Trapper Creek. I've got something in the Kenai, out in Fairbanks, a couple 8-acre properties in Fairbanks and things too. So Just get with us if you're in the market for some raw land. We're happy to help you out. You can reach us here at 605-299-5553. Thanks for tuning in.